Alright guys, welcome back to Walden's World. We're going to see about working on one of these gang mowers. This is a 5 unit. They make 7, 9, all kinds of crazy stuff. I call it Grandpa's old lawnmower because I grew up in the 70s and we had one of these you pushed around the yard. That was the truth. I decided this must be a Jacobson Blitzer parts replaces. So this apparently had originally came from R&R Products, which is just an R&R book, and then it has some of the Jacobson stuff too. So our issue here, and I really need to check them all, but the bearings and seals are shot in there. I put oil in this one the other day and it literally just leaked straight out. So the big question is do we want to fix all of them or just this one, get it back running? Obviously we're going to have to put bearings on that side too. It's not as bad as this one, but it's still bad, and so we'll need gaskets and everything else. I think this might be the kit that we need, and if so, that would be great. We'll just have to find out right quick. I'll have to do a little more research, but that looks like that all goes in there, and that's what I need. So here we go. All right, so if you need parts, these are the parts here. I'll just kind of fan through this a little bit slowly so you can kind of see what's all on your reel. And then we'll go over here and do the parts with the part numbers. Tells you the quantity on the right hand side of what you're going to need to rebuild the whole thing, I guess. Go over this other side here. All right, guys. There should be some more parts too. Maybe got another page. There we go. And here's the last of the parts. All right, we'll start counting. So it looks to me from the diagram, I should be able to just pull the wheel off. There's no axle here, and then pull off this side cover, which this is basically this side. So you pull off this side cover, and I think I could get to everything, hopefully. I'm not sure if this has got any splines or anything on it, but you probably have to remove that anyway to get in there. There may be some kind of bolt or lock deal, which I don't see anything. It may just sit in there. It goes through all this stuff here by the looks of it. Let's get into it. All right, guys, very important when you're dealing with a project, have a project box. All right, got the wheel off. Well, this is gonna be fun. These got the screw heads on them, so I'm gonna try and get those real good and cleaned up and see if I can get those loose. I also need to see what is retaining this. It may be this right here. I may have to hammer that. I'm gonna check my diagram. All right, so I'm not 100% sure, but maybe we can rebuild all this from right here. Let's pull this cover off. I don't know about that shaft. One of my big concerns is this has gone so long that the shaft itself may be having some issues. Let me get a little screwdriver and pop that loose. All right, so we pulled our 4 bolts out of there, and they were pretty much, sides of them were eaten up. I'm gonna go ahead and get this reel bolt out. Should be, I'll put the nut back on there and smack it with a rubber mallet. And I think that's our retainer right there. So I think I can loosen that up and then this whole side will fall off. That's my plan. All right, get that retainer loose. That's 3/4 inch steel pipe. I popped her loose. Actually, I didn't use steel pipe. I used a monkey wrench, but you can use a steel pipe, PVC pipe. That'll get her loose. All right, had to use a breaker bar to get that loose. We're gonna get this loose, and I'm put my nut back on here. I'm gonna smack it with a hammer, and hopefully that'll loosen her on up. Hopefully. Yep. So she's loosening on up. She'll come on out. You always put your nut on the end so you don't flare out the end of your deal. Ladies and gentlemen, and just because I live in Arkansas, I get to say this, but that gear right there reminded me of a couple of my old girlfriends. You see all the teeth missing? So I was hoping that would just come out, but I think the bearing race in there is caught. So I went ahead and knocked all these screws out, and we're just hoping this thing's gonna come apart. I'll have to go ahead and probably get rid of one hand or be able to do it, take it all the way off. And hoping all this just comes out and that comes out too. Hopefully it's gonna come off. All right, so we got that off, and that's pretty interesting. It actually has 2 keyways on it, so that looks good. We're gonna put this up on the bench and see if we can't get her dissected.